Tuesday's challenges in Colorado, unused York, South Carolina, and Utah saw the to begin with occupant House Democrat to lose an essential this cycle, along with several misfortunes for Trump-endorsed candidates. The dynamic wing of the Equitable Party endured a major blow when Rep. Latimer Balman, DNY, lost to Westchester Province official George Latimer, a direct, in one of the foremost violent primaries so distant. In the meantime, Donald Trump's near-perfect underwriting track record this cycle took a hit nearly all over, while Rep. Lauren Boebert, RColo, a political lightning pole, all but guaranteed her survival in Congress in November. Balman's misfortune bargains the squad a blow. The modern York lawmaker's vanquish was not a stun. As a part of the House's dynamic squad, who mixed discussion on a few issues and created unflattering features, Balman went into Tuesday's essential confronting a so climb. But his overcome is in any case a major setback for the dynamic wing of the party, who had made a public show of back within the days and weeks driving up to the race. The race picked up far-reaching national consideration as a test of the equitable divisions that have been uncovered taking after the episode of the war between Israel and Hamas after October 7. Latimer's assaults on Balman centered on Israel, criticizing the officeholder for his votes against giving extra help to Israel, calls for a lasting ceasefire, and comments at first calling the reports of sexual viciousness amid the October 7 assault propaganda and lies. Balman afterward strolled back those comments and apologized. Balman guarded his position on Israel, which he has charged of committing genocide against the Palestinian individuals in Gaza. He moreover hammered pro-Israel bunches, just like the American Israel Open Issues Committee, AIPAC, for pouring millions into the race against him. Both candidates looked forward to depict each other as out of touch with the area, but Balman was eventually incapable to persuade his locale that he merited another 2 years in office. He's the primary part of the squad to lose an essential challenge since the gather shaped, and his misfortune could serve as a caution to other legislators who criticize Israel. The following test for progressives will take put in eminent when another squad part, Rep. Cori Bush, D., faces a competitive essential in Missouri. Trump's supported candidates have a terrible night. Apparently, no political figure within the nation has single-handedly used more impact than Trump, whose supports are regularly sufficient to carry a candidate over the wrap-up line in a GOP essential. But that wasn't the case in 3 high-profile races Tuesday in which Trump-backed candidates fell brief. In a South Carolina runoff to decide the Republican-chosen one and likely possible House part for the unequivocally ready 3rd congressional area, nurture specialist Sherry Biggs narrowly bested Trump-endorsed minister Chuck Burns for the nomination. Her triumph was to a win for Gov. Henry McMaster, R., himself a Trump partner, who had sponsored her. In Colorado's 5th congressional locale, questionable state GOP chair Dave Williams lost his essential against Jeff Wrench in spite of having Trump's support. Wrench had foundation backing from Republican pioneers like House Speaker Mike Johnson, R. while Williams had drawn the fury of numerous inside his possessed party over his divisive behavior and past statements. And in Utah, Trump-endorsed Riverton leader Trent Staggs misplaced the Republican essential for the Senate situate being emptied by resigning Senator Glove Romney, R. Utah. In step, Rep. John Curtis, R. Utah, a more direct candidate, prevailed. Tuesday did too incorporate a few triumphs for Trump, with his embraced candidate in Colorado's 8th locale, Gabe Evans, winning his essential against the state GOP-endorsed candidate. But whereas the previous president remains the prevailing constraint in his party, Tuesday's comes about underscored that not everything he touches turns to political gold. Boebert travels to triumph. After Rep. Lauren Boebert, R. Colo, about misplaced her house situate in November 2022, numerous eyewitnesses in both parties were prepared to type in her political eulogy. But the disputable torch clinched an opportunity for a more secure way to re-election when Rep. Insight Buck R. Colo declared his retirement, driving to running within the more safely red 4th area rather than the swingy 3rd area she has been speaking to. Still, she confronted a competitive essential within the 4th area in the midst of allegations of carpetbagging. She moreover had to hook with a waiting discussion after she was kicked out of a theater final year where she was denounced of causing an unsettling influence, driving to an uncommon statement of regret from the congresswoman. But Boebert got an offer assistance when the driving candidate for the extraordinary decision to fill Buck's situate chosen to, as it were, run for the leftover portion of the term rather than a full term. And Trump's support permitted her title to be set to begin with on the poll. All of that, alongside restriction to Boebert not centralizing around a single candidate, likely contributed to her pulling off a win in the essential and guaranteeing she proceeds to be able to serve within the House. A win for AIPAC and other pro-Israel bunches. One of the most storylines within the Latimer Balman race was the huge convergence of dollars that pro-Israel bunches like AIPAC went through within the race to contradict the occupant. Balman frequently railed against the investing from those bunches, blaming them of being portion of right-wing endeavors to remove him. The race was the most costly House essential in U.S. history, and a lion's share of the spending came from pro-Israel bunches. Investing by and large for Latimer outpaced investing for Balman by an edge of 7-1. Latimer protected the sources of his gathering pledges, noticing that most of the financing straightforwardly to his campaign came from inside the area and emphasizing his profound ties to the zone. He moreover assaulted Balman for financing coming from exterior the district. Pro-Israel bunches like AIPAC have already appeared readiness to weigh in on races to prop up their favored candidates, but their part took a center in this race much more essentially than in most other cases within the past. Dim mediation in Colorado primary doesn't pay off. Democrats about pulled off a stun disturbed to a long time prior when Adam Frisch fell short of defeating Boebert by fair many hundred votes. Frisch is running once more as the Democratic chosen one for Colorado's 3rd area, but this time against a different candidate after Boebert moved to Buck's area. Trusting to induce their favored adversary to possibly make Frisch's decision less demanding, Democrats swam into the GOP essential for the situate between establishment-backed lawyer Jeff Hurd and previous state Senator Ron Hanks, an election denier. Frisch's campaign and other Democrats saw Hanks as a simpler adversary to defeat and circulated advertisements to prop him up or assault Hurd for dodging talks about or certain arrangement positions. But that exertion was ultimately unsuccessful, with Hurd comfortably winning the assignment over Hanks and a couple of other candidates. The race is still in play for Frisch to possibly win, but it may be a more troublesome challenge for Democrats presently. The Cook Political Report rates the race as lean Republican.